Good morning everyone, and welcome to another graveyard out and about video. And today we're here over in Altham, which is situated just between, I would say, Accrington and perhaps would you say Blackburn, but definitely more closer to the Accrington side and Clayton Moors. And it's here we're visiting St James's Church, because there's two headstones and two graves which I'm trying to find today, which I think you guys might find interesting. But obviously, and as I pan around, you'll see that there's a lot of interesting and old, and I'm sure a lot of these are pre-Victorian in dates. So there's a lot of headstones that we're going to have a look at this morning. Me and Vicky have taken the day off work today. It's a Friday, and this is obviously the first video of March as well, so sit back and we hope you enjoy this video. So one of the first ones that has caught my attention is this one, and it's the colours, it's the scale, it's the size of the actual grave itself, and it's still got the iron fencing around it. But it was the greens, or the colours, that caught my attention when I was walking down from the main entrance, from the lich gate just in front. But this one, and interred here we've got John James Rippon of Altham Hall, who I think it's departed this life May, I think it's the 7th, 1819, aged 79 years. Now, we'll have a walk around the side. Now, as you can see, a lot of the writing on this side has actually come away now. And it's got like a braille effect where there's like little holes where obviously the letters have been placed originally. But yeah, we've been here before to this graveyard. I think it was a couple of years ago, but it was quite windy that day, and as you just look in that direction, you just see how much open space there is. But I know where Vicky is now, when we walked round a couple of years ago, like I said, the wind was howling and it made it so difficult to video. But yeah, I mean, this grave, the first one we come to today, it's magnificent. I mean, it's a shame a lot of the writing has come off, and again I'm seeing Rippon, so obviously it's a family, it could be a wife, it could be a child. It's very hard to say because, like I said, the lettering's come off. Now look at this tiny headstone here. All it has is EM sharp. There's no years, no ages, absolutely nothing. So again, it could be an adult, it could be a child, we just don't know. EM sharp. Now this next one, very difficult to read the inscriptions, but I can see died at Hong Kong, June 17th, 1900. But as for the name, I think it says 1861, but as for the name, very difficult to read. And likewise on this side. Now there is, on the slab on the top, some engravings, but again, it must be quite old this, because it's fading now. But I can make out roughly, I think it says Joseph, is it Anderson? And again, certain things are popping out, such as the age, 68 years. But other than that, very difficult to make sense of who's interred here. But another magnificent piece here at St James's over in Altham. Now, a little bit of history of the place itself, and I've taken some of this from the website of St James's Church. So I will be reading some quotes from that. And apparently there's always been some form of chapel or church situated here. And now nobody quite knows how far back that goes. Some say it may go back to around the 1140s. So we're talking, what, the Norman times? But I think around 1512 or that period, and it was just 3 years or so after King Henry VIII was crowned the King of England, this new church was erected here. Now, as we look closely at it, I don't know if you can just make out the windows at the top, but just look how sunken or deformed they kind of look, which shows, again, obviously the age of the place. The middle one isn't too bad, but then you've got the end one. Again, it looks like it's kind of drooping. Gives it, I think it gives it kind of more features. I'm just looking at the stained glass windows from the outside. Let's get a closer look. Yeah, I mean, look at the detail. I mean, the detail on the windows themselves, magnificent. I mean, we come to this window, and is it Mary? I don't really know. I don't know the terminology, actually, you know, the people involved in these things, you know, the actual faces on stained glass windows. Are they three wise men? Are they kings? Is this Virgin Mary? Like I said, I'm not overly up on the old religion side of things. I just love visiting graveyards, chapels, looking at the history of the places. And I hope you guys are enjoying these new series of videos for the Days of Horror website. And as we look around, this is where we get into the older side of the graveyard now. We're going to take a look over there shortly because something's just caught my eye there. But we're going to look around here now for one grave in particular. And it's of a lady, I think she was called Lydia. And she was part of the, I think it was the suffragette movement back in its early days. I think she was called Lydia Becker. And her father was a churchwarden here at St James's back in the day. But as for Lydia, and again I'm reading some notes now, but she used to corresponded with Charles Darwin. But she was widely known for her work as a pioneer of the suffragist movement. And apparently even Queen Victoria back at the time said that Lydia Becker, she deserves a good thrashing. Now, we do know her headstone or her grave is somewhere around here. We do have a photograph, and it's one of these that is actually on the ground. So me and Vicky are going to spend a bit of time now and try and find it, and we'll talk a little bit more of Lydia, hopefully when we find where her final resting place is. So this is the entrance to the John Metcalfe vault. And look at the tremendous headstone. Now how cool is that? In loving memory of John Metcalfe of Marthorne Grange, Clayton Moors, born September 14th, 1845, died December 14th, 1919. Annie, the beloved wife, or the dearly loved wife I should say, of John Metcalfe, born August 23rd, 1843, died December 20th, 1930. But just look at the I've just noticed on the side, in loving memory of Louise, daughter of John and Annie Metcalfe, born January 23rd, 1871, died May 20th, 1930. But yeah, just look at the sculpture on this, or the sculpturing I should say. Now Vicky's just spotted this, and just over the windows, different stone carvings of, I presume, people at the time who may have been important. That one's quite weather worn, but look at this one, guys. And then two more just on this side. And Vicky's just said there's some on the door, but look at these. How cool are these? Now Vicky's just said there's some on the door, so and then another one on this side. They are a really nice, neat feature. Now here at St James's you've also got some, and I mean really old graves, such as this one. And I'll try and read it out best as I can, but you've got the initials RB at the top. And I think it's very hard to read because it's old language, old English. And it's like who, DE, and it's like PA. It's very hard to see. If you guys can make that out, let me know down below. And I think it must be died this something, or this life, who departed. Right, I can see it now. So it's RB who departed, so they split the word, who departed this life the 28th of May AD 1668. Or is it 1663, I think it is, guys. But wow, that is old. So RB who departed this life the 28th of May AD 1663. Wow, that is old. And then next to it, this one we cannot read really, but I can make it the year 1680. And then you've got another one. Can't read anything on that one. But these are old, without a doubt. Likewise, you've got these at the side. That one is proper weather worn now. I mean, that is so difficult to see any writing. But these are definitely some of the oldest headstones and final resting places we have encountered since doing these type of videos. Now, just for a little bit of context as to how old St James's is, and again, this is taken from their own website, and I'll put links down below so you guys can visit the website for yourselves. But just for context into the age of the place, a lot of things have happened, a lot of history has happened, as you can imagine. So, since it's been built, King Henry VIII severed all ties with the Catholic Church, the dissolution of the monasteries, if you will. You've had the defeat of the Spanish Armada, I think it was in 1588. We had the Gunpowder Plot in 1601. The English Civil War began in 1642, and the Peterloo Massacre over in Manchester took place in 1819. You had the Battle of Britain, was it around 1940, I think it was? And then we had the first Prime Minister in 1979. Now, if we really want to put it into context again, we could also throw in, I guess, the pandemic that took place. Was it 2020, 2021? I won't mention the word because I think we're all fed up of hearing about it. But yeah, the history that's taken place here. We could also involve, obviously, 2 world wars. So this goes to show you guys just how old St James's Church here in Altham really is. And again, there's even more history we probably could throw in, but I don't want to bore you guys too much with that. Right, we're going to make our way along this section of the graveyard now and look at this amazing one just in front. So this one that I saw from further back, there's no chance of us seeing who's inside there, unfortunately, the names, simply because all the moss and vegetation has covered the headstone inside. But I'm thinking with all this iron railing all around it, maybe somebody of importance. But yeah, again, I wouldn't call this graveyard necessarily abandoned. It's by no means abandoned, but it's definitely in need of some form of TLC. You just need to look down below your feet and you see all these sunken graves, fallen headstones, like Vicky's just said. Fallen headstones just there and over there. You've got another one just here. Now obviously when I say fallen, they've not just literally fallen. We would presume that volunteers, like Vicky just said, volunteers have obviously laid them down to stop them falling and perhaps falling onto people. So like I said, it's far from being an abandoned graveyard. It's just more, what's the word I'm looking for? It just needs a little bit of TLC, doesn't it? And that's not me and Vicky knocking people and knocking volunteers, far from it. We know ourselves just how difficult these places must be to maintain. So we're not knocking anybody whatsoever. But yeah, it's a remarkable place, is St James's, truth be told. So like I said guys, if you ever get the chance, please try and come and visit. There's a lot of history here, a lot of interesting features as well. Now I just love this one, not necessarily for the headstone, but I love the name. In loving memory of Millicent, the beloved wife of Jacob Cronshaw, who died July 4th, 1910 in her 60th year. Also of the above, Jacob Cronshaw, who died February 5th, 1921, aged 75 years. But what a name. In loving memory of Millicent. Now we've managed to find the final resting place of Lydia. Now again, Lydia, just to reiterate, again, she was she was a pioneer of the suffragist movement. And like I said, Queen Victoria had somewhat of I would say a little hatred towards her. You know, stating that Lydia Becker deserves a good thrashing. Now, as well as obviously being a pioneer for suffragists, apparently she was also an amateur scientist with an interest in biology and astronomy. But despite all her fame and obviously all the issues that she would create for herself and obviously a lot of other people in forming the suffragist movement, and obviously many of you will know, or you'll have heard the name Lydia Pankhurst, and perhaps I think it was Richard Pankhurst, and it was Richard Pankhurst himself who arranged for Lydia to become the first woman to vote in a British election. But it was in 1890 Lydia visited, I think it was a spa town in Aix-les-Bains, and I'll put the word down below because I think it's in France, but I think it's pronounced something like Aix-les-Bains. Now she died while she was over there. I think it was on the 25th of July 1890. She was 63 years old, and she actually died of diphtheria. And if we read at the bottom of the headstone, you'll see also of Lydia Ernestine, their eldest daughter, who died at Geneva July the 18th 1890. Oh, it says age 64 years here, not 63. So this one says 64 on the actual headstone. But this is, I think, the family grave. And what I'll do, I'll put some pictures over so you guys know exactly what she looks like. And I think I'll put some pictures just here at the side. Now, anybody wishing to visit and pay respect to Lydia and to see her final resting place, if you make your way through the Lich Gate at the end and just follow the path all the way across, all the way around I should say, like you're heading towards the actual church itself, Lydia's headstone is from the path 1, 2, 3 headstones down. There's a tree directly in front, like Vicky's just said, with some kind of wicking farm with horses in the fields. But yeah, if you make your way down to the main entrance of the church, take a left, and like I said, just count 3 headstones down. Look for 3 trees, 1, 2, 3, or 4 trees include that one. But tree in the middle, and she's literally just there. Now this graveyard, also, we've already spoken and we've given you some context as to the age of it by naming a few historical dates. It is extremely old, so we are coming across a lot of graves which seemingly have collapsed inside themselves. Now, I don't know if you can just about make it out, but just down there, I think you can just about make out, possibly, the top of a coffin. It's hard to say, but I can definitely see some wood of sorts just in the darkness, just down here. Now, I'm not going to get too close to the GoPro because if I drop it, I'll just won't be able to get it back. But that is quite macabre in a way, isn't it? But this is what we're coming across here in the churchyard, or the graveyard, and there's more in that direction, and I think some more just where Vicky's just been in that direction. But that is quite yeah, you know what I mean, guys. Right, so I'm just shining torch just there. I don't know if it is wood or if it is, I think it could be stone actually, but you can see the outer wall, or the inner wall I should say, not the outer wall. You can actually see the inner wall of orange stone, and then just down there where I'm shining there is a hole, so I'm presuming rats and other creatures have probably been burying away for warmth and whatnot. But yeah, just down there, guys. Now this is an interesting, well, section of the graveyard I should say, not plot, but you've got these nice looking graves but with tiny headstones, and all they have is names, no years, nothing else, just name. Like, I think that's J. Allen. This one is H. Pollard. And then you've got J. Smith. And they just go on in different areas. And yeah, like we said, just behind me here. And then there's another one. Is that Lambert? T. Lambert. So there's no years when these people died and when they were buried. You've got, like I said, another one just hidden here. Now I'm walking alongside of the graves, but you've got another one here. Like I said, as I pointed out, Pilkington, Whiteside, Hollister. So if anybody knows, could these, well, I don't think they're pauper graves, are they? Because they have got your surroundings, you have actually got a proper grave, if you will. But it just seems strange how all these are together and yet there's nothing other than the first initial for the name and then the surname. So you got T. Horton. So again, quite strange how they've got a nice looking plot but with just a headstone, and they go on all across here up to where Vicky is now. Some more at the side here. So they're not paupers' graves, I don't think. E. Pearson. Now we've found a more modern one, or I should say Vicky has.
I like the...
And look at the engraving down the side, like a church with sun coming through. And that's in loving memory of Thomas, is it Lethard or Lethard, who died 30th of Jan, 1918, aged 58, and of Elizabeth, his beloved wife, who died 21st of February 1941, aged 86, and Jack, their grandson, 17-year-old, who died in 1933. Also their daughter, Margaret Ellen Cockburn, who died 9th of March 1979, aged 87. So 1979, that's quite a more modern one.
And I think that's the only war one I've sent. In here, isn't it?
Yeah, Vicky's just spotted the first war memorial, which is just over there. No, I've not seen any more. That's the first one we've seen. Now the other grave that I was looking for was that of a guy called John Hacking. I think he was born around 1745 and he passed away in November 1805. Unfortunately, we've been unable to locate his final resting place, and I think it's because it's such a long time ago since he was interred, it's making it nigh impossible. And as you can see from a lot of these headstones, they are covered in moss, so it's making it difficult to read. But John Hacking, if I've got this right, he was the inventor of the carding machine. I think that was around about 1772. Was it the carding engine it's known as? Now, a lot of people say he was the first, or he was the main inventor of this carding machine, but from memory, and from what I was reading last night, I think there was another guy called Lees, and I'll put his name down below, around about the 1740s, who designed a similar machine. And then I think it was Ainsworth or Arkwright who also around about the 1700s developed a similar machine. But yeah, apparently John Hacking, he lived in the nearby village of Huncourt, but yet he came here to St James's where he did his worshipping, and he's buried somewhere in this graveyard. Now if anybody watching this video knows where he may be buried, if you can contact me, let me know down below, or contact us on social media or email address, and just let us know and point us in the right direction. I'd be truly grateful of that, because I'd like to go and visit his final resting spot and perhaps do a follow-up video. Now as you come in through the lich gate just at the top, you'll be stunned by just the quality and this scale of the headstones as you make your way down towards the church. I can only think that these were the most prominent of people who once lived and worked, probably mill owners, something like that, but obviously from this area or nearby areas, because like I said, the scale and the size of some of these headstones and graves, it's remarkable, and there's a lot of people interred in each one. You've got husband, wife, you've got children, and as an example, I've just seen this one of William Burr. It says VD, I don't know what that stands for. The late Major, 2nd Volunteer, died November 13th, 1904, 75. His wife Alice. And on the front, you've got William Bird Jr. of Lodge Terrace, Padiham, who died April 12, 1899, aged 46. And is that me, or is that a Masonic? Let's try and go around. Is that a Masonic logo? I think this is Masons, isn't it? And on that side. So it's obviously a Mason plot, or these were in the Masons at some point. But interesting. Again, if it is Masonic, can people let me know down below for sure? But I'm sure that is Masonic. Now this is kind of unique. A family plot here, but designed like a family tree, in loving memory of Joseph Holden, Ellen Holden, and then the names go on: Anne Jessup, Mary Holden, Herbert Jessup, Martha Edmondson, Jessie Edmondson, Doris Sutcliffe and Fred Sutcliffe. Never seen that before like that, where it's been designed in such a way. But yeah, that's pretty neat, that. So before we leave St James's, we thought we'd pay our respect to this young boy, Harold Richard, the dearly loved son of Harold and Ada A. Hatch, who died August 13th, 1943, in his 9th year. Another flower in God's garden. Also Amy Clough, their niece, aged 19 years. So 2 children's graves here. And we thought we'd end the video with Harold and indeed Amy. But as you can see, guys, such a neat statue, and obviously a well-loved child, or children I should say. May they rest in peace. So as we make our way from St James's Church here in Altham, me and Vicky do hope you enjoyed this video. It's probably one of the longest videos we've done of a graveyard and cemetery walkthrough. But if you did like this video, don't forget to give us a big thumbs up, don't forget to comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also, if you can, guys, please share this video, because we are now closing in on 1,000 subscribers, and we can't believe that me and Vicky we've managed to show an interest towards other people who share similar interest in what we do. And we can't believe that nearly 1,000 people have subscribed to our little channel. So if you could share the video, and if you could comment and do all those other things, it would mean the world to us both. But in the meantime, guys, as you always say, take care, look after yourselves, and we will be back soon with another tale from our dark but glorious past. Take care, guys.